Hello everyone. Thank you for deciding to watch the channel. I had a very busy last week, and I decided to take most of Saturday and all of Sunday and just rest. And boy, did I need it. So anyway, I had a lot of questions. Not a lot of people asked me if I could take a look at some people from the past, but one of the questions that I've gotten repeatedly over the last couple of days is if I could take a look at Bob Mueller, see how he's doing. And I did try to do a remote view on Bob Mueller, and so I'm going to share that today. And then I also did I checked in again with the meat packers and the future of industrial meat production here in the United States. But before I get started with all of that, I want to say that I got it mostly wrong, I think, with Kim Jong-un, but not entirely wrong. Or I should say maybe half right, half wrong. It appears that he is very much alive. But it's also now starting to come out via South Korea that he did indeed have a medical procedure. I think that my theory is, and this is just me doing medical research, this is not a remote viewing, I think that he had a stent placed via a catheter through they did some exploratory surgery, and I think possibly they put a stent via the femoral artery. We shall see. You always want to be humble. That's why if I'm not sure about a remote, if a remote's been tainted by me watching too much news, etc., I'll say, you know what, I'm going to tell you a story. If I feel that a remote is pretty solid, I'll tell you. This remote that I'm going into right now with Bob Mueller, I feel is a pretty solid remote, and I want to share it with you. One of the things I wanted to check on was how I physically felt as Bob Mueller, and it was very interesting. I felt like someone might feel that has a nervous breakdown or has a heart condition, just where you are so, it's like when your electricity runs out, your battery runs out. I felt like my battery had run out, but he was sitting in his living room. He was with his wife, and they were working on a project, and it looked like he had a button-up sweater on. I don't know what those are called. A cardigan. He had like a cardigan on, and it looked like they were opening up gifts. People had sent gifts or something, and they were opening up things and responding to people who had sent them things. I think most likely a lot of stuff that they're opening up because, like the rest of us, they're in quarantine. It looked like something had happened with his right arm, kind of like an injury or a weak. Maybe he had bruised it playing golf. It's a common golf injury. And this is what he said. He said that he was very tired. He was physically exhausted after the investigation, and that he's taken a lot of this time to just rest. He slowly began to withdraw his duties, the duties that he had for the country, the job that he took, and that he has actually started to feel better. He said that the rest helped him tremendously, and that he's actually starting to feel like he's getting his energy back a little bit from all this rest. He feels that he just wants to step back and let history take its course. He said something very interesting in the remote. He said, I am very aware of the Mueller report and how it will become an historical document. And he was very aware of making it apparent that there was a huge threat to the future of the country because of foreign interference and meddling in our elections, and the fear of the loss of our democracy. This report is a warning shot to America, and I believe that it will survive historically very well. People will Basically, he's saying that people will go back and they will read it years from now. It will become a famous. He believes that it will survive the test of time, and it will be an important historical document about a time in American history when we were given a warning shot about foreign interference, and the choices that we make now will have far-reaching historical implications. And that's what I took away from the remote with Bob Mueller. All right, so the next remote I did, was the meat packers in the Midwest. And it looks like what's going to be happening with the meat packers in the Midwest is that it could potentially cause some of the unions and some of the poorest of the poor to move away from Donald Trump, because their lives are being put at risk. If they go back to work, they're then running the risk of increasing the number of COVID patients in the Midwestern states. As I had mentioned in the previous remotes, when I scanned the globe, I was just looking for heat in the United States. I really was concerned about the Midwest, potential future hotspots like Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, North, South Dakota, Texas, Arizona, etc. Everywhere there's a factory farm, but also the American industrial prison system, whole entire areas of the United States where the economy is entirely based on the prison system. So I am concerned about Illinois, Missouri, that whole area. I know that I had gotten a hit on Jackson, the county of Jackson, and then I looked on a map because I was curious, and it's wedged between 3 prisons. So in addition to the farming and the livestock, it's many people work in the prisons, etc. So the controversy over this meat packing, meat industry, etc., is that the federal government will probably again have to bail out people who own meat packing plants, people who produce meat, just as we bailed them out when they went underwater in previous hurricanes, floods, etc. I think in the coming months we're going to see some backlash to that, where there are going to be some serious conversations about whether or not America can continue to bail out an industry that is so expensive and so harmful to the environment. And I think it's going to lead to some very serious conversations about the future of meat production in the United States. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. And last but not to be least, if you did not receive a tea from me and you ordered it over a week ago, please write me at whimsyanderson@gmail.com. The information is below, because we seem to have had a list that did not go out. So if you have not received your teas from me, just tell me how many, and we'll try and figure out what happened. So we apologize. It's been absolutely crazy. I'm trying to communicate with my assistant via text and phone. There's no receptionist, so my apologies if we look completely disorganized. It's because we are, but we will get through it. Thanks for all the support, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.